Differentiated Instruction, Strategies for Effective Lesson Delivery, Part 1. Introduction. Have you ever had a student who just didn't seem to get it, no matter how hard you tried to explain the material? Or maybe you've had a class full of students with such diverse learning styles and abilities that you felt like you were trying to juggle too many balls at once. If so, you're not alone. Every teacher has faced the challenge of meeting the diverse needs of their students at some point in their career. That's where differentiated instruction comes in. Differentiated instruction is a teaching strategy that tailors instruction to meet the diverse needs of students. It recognizes that every student has unique needs, interests, and learning styles, and it's the teacher's responsibility to create a learning environment that supports these differences. 1. Understanding your students. Understanding your students is the foundation of effective differentiated instruction. It involves getting to know your students and their unique needs, interests, and learning styles. By understanding your students, you can tailor your instruction to meet their individual needs and provide them with the support and resources they need to succeed. So, how can you understand your students? There are several strategies you can use. 1. Surveys. Surveys are a great way to gather information about your students' interests, strengths, and areas of concern. You can create a survey using a tool like Google Forms or SurveyMonkey and ask your students questions such as, what are your favorite subjects? What are your strengths and weaknesses? What would you like to learn more about? 2. Observations. Observations are a powerful tool for understanding your students' learning styles and behaviors. You can observe your students during class, note their participation and engagement levels, and make notes about what seems to be working for them. 3. Conversations. Conversations with your students and their parents can provide valuable insights into their needs and interests. You can ask them about their hobbies, goals, and what they like and dislike about school. Once you've gathered information about your students, you can use it to tailor your instruction to their individual needs. For example, if you have a student who struggles with reading but loves sports, you might use sports-related reading materials to engage them in the content. Alternatively, if you have a student who is very visual and likes to draw, you might encourage them to create diagrams or sketches to help them understand the material. 2. Flexible grouping. Flexible grouping is a key strategy for effective lesson delivery using differentiated instruction. It involves grouping students based on their abilities, interests, or learning styles to provide appropriate levels of instruction and support. Here are some key considerations for implementing flexible grouping in your classroom. 1. Know your students. Before you can effectively group your students, you need to know their abilities, interests, and learning styles. 1. This can be done through a variety of methods such as surveys, assessments, and observations. Knowing your students will help you make informed decisions about how to group them for maximum benefit. 2. Define your groups. Once you have a good understanding of your students, you can begin to define your groups. There are many ways to group students, such as by readiness, interest, or learning style. For example, you might group students who are struggling with a particular concept together for additional support, or you might group students with similar interests together to work on a project. 3. Establish group norms. It's important to establish norms for each group to ensure that everyone is on the same page. This might include expectations for behavior, communication, and collaboration. Norms can be established through a group contract or discussion with the group members. 4. Provide differentiated instruction. Once your groups are established, you can provide differentiated instruction to meet the needs of each group. This might involve using different materials, providing additional support or challenge, or adjusting the pace of instruction. By tailoring instruction to each group, you can ensure that every student is receiving the support they need to succeed. 5. Monitor progress. As with any instructional strategy, it's important to monitor progress to ensure that your students are benefiting from flexible grouping. This might involve regular assessments or check-ins with each group. Based on this information, you can adjust your grouping or instruction as needed to ensure that your students are making progress. 3. Varied assessments. Assessments play a critical role in measuring student learning and progress. However, traditional assessments, such as multiple-choice tests, may not accurately capture the diverse learning styles and abilities of all students. Varied assessments offer an alternative approach that allows students to demonstrate their learning in different ways. What are varied assessments? Varied assessments are a collection of different types of assessments that allow students to demonstrate their learning in ways that best suit their learning style. These assessments can take many forms, including performance-based assessments, portfolios, self-assessments, peer assessments, and formative assessments. Benefits of varied assessments. One of the primary benefits of varied assessments is that they allow students to showcase their learning in ways that traditional assessments may not capture. For example, a student who struggles with written expression may be able to demonstrate their understanding of a topic through a visual project or oral presentation. In addition, varied assessments provide teachers with a more comprehensive picture of student learning. By using a variety of assessment tools, teachers can gather data on different aspects of student learning, such as problem-solving skills, critical thinking, and creativity. Implementing varied assessments. There are several ways teachers can implement varied assessments in their classrooms. One effective approach is to use rubrics. Rubrics are scoring tools that outline specific criteria for success on an assessment. They can be used for a variety of assessments, including essays, projects, and presentations. Another approach is to give students choice in how they demonstrate their learning. For example, students could choose between creating a visual project or writing a research paper on a given topic. This approach not only allows students to showcase their strengths but also promotes engagement and ownership of their learning. Formative assessments are also a useful tool for varied assessments. Formative assessments are ongoing assessments that provide feedback to students throughout the learning process. They can take many forms, such as exit tickets, quizzes, or self-assessments.